Welcome to the next thought for the day in the series that I'm doing on well-being, based on the mnemonic Great Dream, which helps us to remember the 10 keys to happiness. If you've listened to all the thoughts in the series thus far, you may remember that I said that the first 5 keys, which are based on the word great, are about how we interact with the outside world in our daily activities. And then the second 5, based on the word dream, come from inside us and depend on our inner attitude to life. Well, we've been through the word great, and you might want to listen back to be reminded or to hear for the first time what each of those letters in that word stand for. And today we're kicking off the word dream, and of course we'll start with the letter D. And the letter D stands for the word direction, and out of that, about setting goals to work towards. Scientific research shows that setting and working towards goals can contribute to happiness in a variety of different ways. Goals can help to focus our attention, and actively working towards them seems to be really important for our well-being, as well as helping us to get satisfaction when we achieve them. So bearing that information in mind, it's hardly surprising, is it, that people's mental health during this pandemic has suffered to such a degree. It's been really hard to set the usual kind of goals. The next holiday, or the next time we see our family or our friends, not to mention the bigger things like getting married or changing job. People have set goals and they've had to be moved time and time again, and that has been really, really hard for all of us, albeit in different ways. But whilst setting longer-term goals over this past year has in some ways become a little bit of a joke, don't diminish the value of short-term goals, because they can still give us direction. So, for example, a short-term goal could be as simple as, I'm going to phone a different friend every day this week. Or something else as simple as, I'm going to try reading a book by a new author this month. Or, I'm going to cook a new recipe today. Smaller goals may in some ways seem trivial or unimportant, but having personal projects or goals that matter to us and are manageable have consistently been shown to improve well-being. But we can also have longer-term goals in terms of our faith. You may be familiar with the Apostle Paul, who talked about setting his eyes on Jesus as he ran the race of faith. Now, if you're going to run a race, you generally have a goal in mind, and that might be the time it's going to take you to finish the race, and it's probably also going to be the finish line. That's your goal, and for Paul, the goal of his faith race was Jesus. I'm going to keep my eyes fixed on Jesus, he says, as he runs his race. The goal of Paul's faith race was to become more and more like Jesus. Wow. That's a pretty awesome goal. And it gives direction. And of course, it should be a goal that all of us aspire to. And if you think about it, with that goal, it can also help us to then set more tangible goals. So if I'm going to fix my eyes on Jesus as my main goal, if you like, that might also mean setting smaller goals to help me to do that. That might be a goal like, actually, I am going to join a discipleship group or a house group or something equivalent, because I know that will help me to develop my faith. It might be that you make a goal of, well, I am going to spend an extra 5 minutes in prayer each day, or I'm going to listen again to that thought that I heard a while ago about how to develop centering prayer, or I'm going to get a set of Bible reading notes and get into my Bible more. And if you want help with any of that or resources, please get in touch. We're delighted to help you to think through how you can set goals to develop and grow in your faith. So I wonder, do you have goals in your life that help to give you direction? And if not, how about making some today? Start small, even if it's just those little ones that I mentioned towards the beginning of this thought. But as well as that, I really encourage you to think afresh about what goals you might make that help you to run your race of faith with your eyes fixed on Jesus, as you allow him to transform you and become more like him. Now that is a goal worth having.